Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the guest of honor of this evening, Mr. Kevin Missal. Along with Ms. Pratima Gupta, Assistant Director, Mr. Harsh Madhok, Honorary Director, Mr. Ashish Rai, COO, Residential Affairs and Principal, Sunbeam Suncity. There is nothing like the smell of old books or the crackle of a new one's spine. Plus, you will never run on low battery. As it turns out, diving into a page turner can also benefit for your health and happiness. Reading is contagious, and I pray that this infection spreads like a pandemic.
On this note, may I have the honor to read Mr. Kevin's profile. Kevin Missal started his writing career at the young age of 14 with the debut novel Demian Black, The Battle of Lost Ages, which was released by Sheila Dikshit, the then Chief Minister of Delhi. Translated into 6 languages, he has written 15 best-selling novels which include the Narsimha Trilogy, Kalki Trilogy, Ravan Putra Meghnad, Yam, Karn the King of Anga, Sinbad series, Devi series and many more. Some of his books have also been turned into audiobooks. His literary works have topped the best-selling charts on Hindustan Times, bestseller and Asian Age bestseller. A graduate from St. Stephen College with a BA Honours in History, Kevin is passionate about Indian mythology, history and philosophy, and is dedicated to pave his way ahead with many more books to write in future. Not only he is a prolific writer, but he is also a TEDx speaker and CEO of HubHogs, a flourishing startup which aims to support budding authors by filling the gaps that exist in book marketing. He has been featured in several reputed publications, including Times of India, The Hindu, Telegraph India, The Hindustan Times, Midday, and The Indian Saga.
May I request Assistant Director Ma'am to step forward to felicitate our guest of the evening, Mr. Kevin Missal. I also request Honorary Director Mr. Harsh Madhok and our Knowledge Resource Curator Mr. Mukherjee P to kindly join in. I also request Mr. Ashish Rai, COO, Residential Affairs to kindly join in. Sirs and ma'ams, I request Assistant Director Ma'am to stay back and propose the welcome note.
The audience is rather big and large, so let me come up here. So, good evening and Jai Hind, ladies and gentlemen, and all bookworms and book lovers, and also to those who are kind of sitting on the fence, toying with books, not yet converted, but at times sporting books because it's cool to be seen with a book in certain companies. And it's a proud privilege and an honor to have Mr. Kevin Missal with us and his lovely wife Kiran as well. Well, what could be more fortunate than to have a real-time writer with us, amongst us, and that too someone who has written in such a short time. And at my ripe old age, I can say things like, at such a young age, getting away with so many titles. I first met Kevin Missal on Delhi airport in between my travels in the year 2021. And he will not recall the meeting. It was not very momentous for him because he was sitting in the Delhi airport's list of best-selling books. That is where he was, perched very smugly upon the racks of the new arrivals in the much-read books. And I thought to myself, yet another work on the Mahabharata and on my favorite character, Karna. So, I was drawn like a magnet to it. And I thought to myself, what can someone write which I haven't read about Karna, Because I am someone who has passionately followed the Mahabharata ever since I read Shivaji Savant's Mrityunjay. So I have been, the kind of person who quotes from Rashmi Rathi and wants to read everything written on the Mahabharata thereafter. So I picked up this book, Karna, and I was quite intrigued by the title because he calls him the king of Anga. And he has never been referred to as this, apart from the times when Duryodhan has addressed him as Angraj Karna, that is how he used to address Karna, always. And later on, it was, of course, Maharathi Karna during the battle of the Mahabharata. That's not me showing off how much I know. That's just me telling you that writers have a knack of striking a chord with their writings. You never know what chord they touch in the reader's heart. So across the inanimate rack of a book shelf, this is what got to me. And probably each one of us sitting here today, during the course of our interactions with Mr. Kevin, may not know what will inspire us, what quirky phrase or what quirky expression may motivate one young mind here to, out of curiosity, go and pick up one of his works and read them, and therefore embark upon the magical journey of becoming an avid, ardent reader. Such is the magic of stimulation of an author, of a writer, and we are fortunate that we have him here in person to ignite that spark. So, dear students, you may not be a reader. You may not be someone who actually haunts your library shelves and eagerly waits for the new arrivals, but listening to a different thought, listening to a new perspective, listening to someone who's not very many years away from you, older than you, and understanding what it takes to craft book after book with so much of passion and integrity. I, for one, am curious to know what makes Mr. Kevin Missal tick. So, with that, welcome once again, and I look forward to having a very stimulating evening indeed with all of you, and of course with our celebrity author. Take it away, all of you. Enjoy the evening ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I request Kiran ma'am to ascend the stage for felicitations. Thank you, sirs and ma'ams. A surprise is like a gift that's waiting to be opened. But the biggest surprise is not what we see, but how differently we see it. Ladies and gentlemen, without any delay, I request the student representatives of Sunbeam Suncity to escort our guest on the stage for the rendezvous.
Good evening, sir. It's a pleasure and an honor to share the stage with you. Before we begin our rendezvous, let me introduce the members here. To my right is Anushri. To my left is Vinayak and Vaishnavi, and I am Alokita. Sir, shall we start?
Yeah, hi. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me here. And, I'm very, very excited. And yes, definitely you can start. I'm very excited. This is the first time I'm actually doing a session like this. So, very interesting. I feel like I'm part of a conference table. So let's start the discussion.
So, sir, how was your journey to Varanasi, one of the ancient cities? What appeals to you about Varanasi? And is there anything specific that captivates a mythology writer like you?
I'm yet to see the city of Varanasi. In terms of that, I've not been there inside because I'm moving in the outskirts right now. But I have plans tomorrow, which I have told Ashish sir very carefully that I do want to, definitely check it out. But Varanasi has always been a very fascinating place for me because ever since I've done my research, somewhere or the other, it does come into my research. In fact, I was also writing a book on Vikram Vital. So it's an audio book. It's just been released by Audible as well. It's an Audible original, and in that Kashi or Varanasi plays a huge role. In that, and so I don't know what the history, the culture. It's just very interesting to me personally, and that's why I want to see further. So I think this question I would be I would love to answer it by tomorrow if it's possible, because I will then see it and then probably give you a better glimpse of it.
Thank you, sir. I'm sure you will be enjoying your stay here, and I will be waiting for your answer. At the tender age of 14, you started your writing journey. Could you delve deeper into the specific experience that ignited your passion for writing, and how did it shape your early literary aspirations?
Is this a it's a CBSE school, right? Great. So CBSE, yeah, okay. So there's a chapter which is on Oliver Twist. You know about it, like so that's I read that chapter where Oliver Twist was asking. For a bowl of porridge, I guess it was porridge, if I'm not wrong. And I was just fascinated. I don't know what really ticked me. And I just fell in love with it, and I just started reading more classics. So I used to read this Patlawala unabridged classics of different titles like Treasure Island, Oliver Twist, of course, Huckleberry Finn, Tom Sawyer, all those different classes I used to read. And I just fell in love with these stories that I just happened to go like, probably if they can write it, why can't I? And those literary aspirations, they came into the picture once I started having that sense of arrogance in me, because I feel that every writer has to be arrogant. Otherwise, they are not able to get out their work with a lot of confidence.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to my next question. How do you research the target audience you are writing for?
I don't research. So I don't research my target audience, I mean to say. Like when I wrote Kalki, I didn't plan to kind of think about who I wanted to write for. Because and I'm very glad to say that I didn't do it, because what happened was that probably like a 9-year-old kid also read my book, to a 62-year-old man also read my book. So I always feel that you should write for yourself. You should never write for others. I think you have to be selfish, you have to be arrogant when it comes to writing, because when you're selfish, you're able to find that kind of a target audience who kind of thinks like you. So that's what I did. I wrote for myself, and whenever I've written for someone else, it has never worked out. It has never worked out, and I think for any budding writer out there, definitely that's the one advice I would like to give.
Thank you, sir, for such insights.
Thank you.
Sir, the authors like James Joyce and Virginia Woolf use the stream of consciousness techniques. This strategy involves presenting a character thoughts and inner monologue in a continuous flow, for mimicking the way thoughts occur in the human mind. So, sir, could you share any strategies you have employed to maintain your creativity?
I've always felt that when you're writing something, while I'm a big fan of James Joyce, definitely, I feel that what I did was I tried to make my books as fast as possible, filled with cliffhangers, filled with twist endings, characters that are very, very tightly woven, characters that have goals, characters that have a passion, have a sense of tragic backstory to it, and I've held on to that. Because I feel personally I'm more a character-driven writer. I'm not a plot-driven writer. I feel that if you write a good character, plot itself kind of forms around it. So that's what I did. And that's one of the techniques I used.
Thank you, sir. I think these strategies must have helped you for writing your masterpieces. Moving forward, your books often involve complex mythological characters. How do you ensure that readers, especially younger ones, can easily understand and connect with these characters?
I think what I usually do is that I make sure that the figures that I'm writing for, there's a sense of relevance when it comes to, like for instance, I'll just give you example, Kalki trilogy. For instance, I think the book is right there. So if anyone can must have seen it, I'm sure. That's a story. I think there's there's a story of dharma and adharma. There's a story of good versus evil. There's a story of morality. When it comes to, and that's something that everyone goes through. Someone who believes that, am I a good person? Am I a bad person? Because I feel personally that to some people any person could be a god. To some people we might be the biggest villains out there. So there's a sense of perception which I wanted to address when it came to the Kalki trilogy. Same with Narsimha trilogy, I wanted to talk about the freedom to choose your own religion. Which is in terms of, it's very important for kids nowadays to understand what belief they want to follow, what faith do they want to follow. Bhakta Prahlad, for instance, he followed the ways of Lord Vishnu when, even though his father was Asur, a demon. Right, so so these are very relevant topics which a lot of young generation, a lot of your generation, probably will go through or probably will be going through. And that is something I wanted to address. And that's how I made sure that all the mythical figures out there are definitely relevant for today's audience.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I think there's some disturbance in this one. So I think, hello? Yeah, okay, that's perfect. Yeah. Hello. Yeah. Okay.
Sir, as a TEDx speaker and the manager of Hubbox Games, how do you manage multiple projects simultaneously?
I don't manage. I am a very, I've been asked this question a lot of times. One of the very important people of Hubbox is also here, who's also an ex-alumni of, Sunbeam, Tripti, is also there. And my wife, she also was ex-Hubbox. I think they know very well and very clearly that I am very bad at managing multiple things. I don't know how you guys do it. How do you do it? I would love to know. How do you do it? You asked me the question. How do you, because I'm sure you must be multitasking. You are tired, it's 7 o'clock at night. So how are you managing? We are excited. Excitement.
Yes, sir. Correct.
ऐसा लग रहा है force कर रहा हूँ मैं.
No, sir.
Okay. No, so that's the thing. We don't know. I try my best. I sometimes I get too much into the head as well. Meditation has not at all helped me. Yoga has not at all helped me. Eating food has. So definitely, I think what you need to do is you need to kind of prioritize over what you want to do at that particular time. So how I do is, let's take, if I have a book, if I have to write 3 books a year, right? So what I do is that, and I have to also manage my company because, so what I do is I kind of take 2 months of managing my company, like with all focus, and then I go Gaia from the company while I'm writing my book for a month. So then I again go back for 2 months, then I come back. So usually it's a back and fro method, and then everything clashes when I'm going out for talks because then there's an author life as well. Because people think that the writers have only one life. They don't. They have an author's life and then there's a writer's life. The author's life is me sitting right now talking to you guys, right? Which is me talking about, to inspire writing, to inspire reading. That's the author's life. The writer's life is sitting in a corner in my room and writing my book. And no one is paying me attention. While all the lights on me right now. That's the author's life, right? So it's a mixture of it. You have to kind of find a balance. That's what I was telling Ashish sir also, that now I'm shutting down all my talks because now my writing period starts. From October onwards, I'm just be writing. So that's how you have to manage. You have to kind of give your focus to that particular thing, then leave, but finish it also, and then come back and do everything else.
Thank you, sir. It was really mindful. Moving on to the next question. Have you had the opportunity to personally visit any of the countries where your dream plots in your books are set?
I'm not much of a traveler, which is very weird because for a writer to not be a traveler, how can he be a writer? But I'm not a traveler. But yes, wherever I go, definitely, like I went for my honeymoon, which forced me to travel as well because now my wife was like, chalo kahin bahar par अच्छा घूमते हैं कहीं पर अच्छी जगह पे, and we went to Hong Kong, and there I went to Disneyland, and definitely that was a great inspiration for me because it definitely helped me to understand how stories from all across the world are being told, and in a more engaging and more gamified way. Which is attracting the next generation of, which unfortunately we don't have a Disneyland, in India, because it definitely does push you to think outside of the box. So definitely that's what I personally feel when I travel. I figure these things out. I meet different kind of people. Like for instance, not just out of India as well. I came to Varanasi. I was just understanding the beauty around it, talking to different people, understanding how I was reading the books around here. So not just outside of India, but within the India, there are so many stories, so many cultures, so much interest that I can get out of. So definitely, yeah.
Thank you, sir. I hope you must have enjoyed your visits.
उसके क्वेश्चंस नहीं हुए, वो बहुत देर से वेट कर रहा है.
Sir, he will have his chance at last.
At the last. Oh, great.
Sir, he has something very special for you, waiting at last.
I'm scared now. I said, don't be scared, huh? Okay.
So now shifting gears to your newly launched book, Sinbad. A flesh-eating genie, Kutrup, communicated to Sinbad through telepathy. Thinking of me, a monstrous voice boomed in the corridors of his mind. How often did it happen to you that an idea of a story just boomed in the corridors of your mind and you were completely caught unaware? It was like communicated to you from the world of genies through telepathy. Or was it like a conscious preparation always on the back of your mind?
That's a good question. I'm not someone, so I'm someone who obviously who gets the burst of energies when it comes to writing. I get very excited about a story and then I'm like, this is the best story in the world. And then I realize it's not. So what I do is nowadays I have a kind of like a formula. So first I do is obviously I discuss with my family. I talk to them. I discuss with my wife as well. Brainstorm. So the moment I tell her some idea, like literally that happened yesterday as well. I was like, what if Hunger Games meets Harry Potter? In the world of young Krishna's life. And all of a sudden, my wife went like, "Nahi, kya bakwas hai ye?" So that's what a burst of energy works. But definitely, what I do is if I like a story, if we both like a story also, and if I share it with more and more people, and I get that kind of a validation from them, ki, okay, they're liking that. What I do is I take a night off. I don't think about it, and probably I sleep over it. And if in the morning, if that idea is still etched to my brain, and I know ki, what, I still love it, I'm still passionate towards it, then I go forward and write it.
Thank you, sir. It was wonderful to know about your writing process. Your Kalki trilogy may have had its inspiration from Star Wars and The Lord of Rings, and you did it on an epic scale. What is in Sinbad that fascinated you and make you reinvent it, a character from 8th century Arabia?
I just wanted to write a book which was on the greatest sailor. A lot of people don't know. How many people know Sinbad here? Sinbad. With some hands, right? So there's a very famous song also from Rock On. Sinbad the sailor ek jahaz pe jab chala. I don't know if you've seen Rock On also. Have you seen Rock On? Oh, a few of them, right? So the young generation don't know. So lot of times when I go to schools and everything, they don't know Sinbad is. And Sinbad, just to give you guys an insight, is from he's a hero from the folklore of Arabian Nights, where he's a sailor and he's a pirate, and he goes across different voyages and he battles different kind of enemies. Why did I want to reinvent it? It's primarily because of that. Because I grew up listening about Sinbad. I grew up listening about, his voyages, about how powerful, how strong, or how adventurous he was. Sinbad, in its truest sense, is a book on startup. It's an entrepreneurial story. Because Sinbad, as a captain, which is like a startup founder, and I wrote it during my startup days. So while it looks all all fantasy and fun and everything, it definitely is a very entrepreneurial book. It teaches you, how to make sure that you stick to your team, how to, how to take risk, how to make sure that you don't take too much of risk also, and also just be very, very, I would say, Sinbad also teaches you how to be a captain. So, so that's one way I tried to reinvent it. I tried to make him because a lot of times, a lot of people nowadays, your generation wants to definitely think of going into the startup world, right? They want to explore the startup world. They want to start their own startups. So I thought that, it's an interesting way to basically teach young kids on how to be courageous, how to make decisions which are either right or wrong, how to be a good leader. And how to make sure that you effectively run your teams. So definitely that was one of the major reasons why I wrote Sinbad, but in a fun way, so that it also doesn't get boring, it doesn't feel preachy as well.
Thank you, sir. I'm sure it would be motivating for the young budding authors.
So, the idea of the magic carpet that flies and transports individuals through air-defying gravity has its root in ancient Persian and Arabic folklore, particularly in Arabian Nights, from Ramayan's Pushpak Vahan to the Golden Fleece in the Greek mythology to the Disney animated Aladdin. Flying carpet has captured the imagination of all the mankind. So do you think the idea of magic carpet is a profound symbolism for the human desire of liberation and escapism?
ये बहुत ही tough question है. This is. So can you just repeat the last line again of the question?
So can you please tell if the magic carpet is a profound symbolism for escapism and liberation?
I think magic carpet is a magic carpet. So I think it's a magic carpet is a fun flying adventurous tool to run around. But definitely, as I said, my books, other than the amazing magic carpets and everything, as I said, it does hold the story of an entrepreneur and the story of a startup founder. So yeah, definitely those are the things. But a magic carpet is a magic carpet in my book. There's no liberation to it. Probably a liberation of me as a writer, but not as not for Sinbad though.
Thank you, sir. Though the idea of magic carpets has always been captivating for the readers. Moving forward, you said you always wanted your mythological characters grounded and be like humans. So when Kuturup, the black-blooded talon-bearing monster, who had already ripped apart head, liver and limbs of human, met Sinbad, said it was missing its mama who was worried about him. Then he further added that he was doing a research on human and tried to pout his lips and look timid. So, sir, do I see an attempt to humanize the monster? Could you please elaborate on that? Or does it kind of achieve what Coleridge said, the willing suspension of disbelief?
I always feel that whatever stories are out there, there has to be characters which hold the good and the evil in them. I feel that no one is just evil purely. I feel that everyone should have their they have to have a sense of backstory. They have to have a sense of tragic story to it. That's why, as you rightly put in, that every character of mine, every villain of it also has a story that probably they are motivated for some reason or the other. You know, and on a personal belief, you might also kind of feel that, you know, he is right from his perspective. And I think life is all about perspectives. You know, probably you might be friends with someone who, that someone probably will not like you back. I don't know, but it's about perspectives, right? So yeah, definitely.
Thank you, sir. This was really phenomenal as perspectives varies. Moving forward, Sinbad managed to save his life by gifting a book on a fairy tale to Devil's daughter Safina, who was hanging like a monkey from a tree. So when reading habit among children looks discouraging, is it subtle message to the young readers that even help from the devil's daughter can be traded with book? Does it remind you of Dr. Faustus, who sold his soul to the devil in exchange of knowledge?
Oh my God, I have never seen such analysis of my book. I am speechless. I think if the devil's daughter is telling you to read a book, then I think everyone should. So yeah, that's I think.
Thank you, sir. This was really epic.
अरे मैं इसका वेट कर रहा हूँ यार, ये बहुत देर से वेट कर रहा है ये. You guys are
Moving ahead to Narsimha. Okay. Sir, Kayadhu, mother of Prahalad, is depicted as a strong figure, as a woman with great will. In today's world, who do you think is the feminine personality that matches her role?
In today's time? And as in what example do you want me to put in? As a actress, as a political figure, in what way are you saying?
So, as a specific figure, particular figure.
I mean, my specific figure is obviously, I mean, someone who is very close to me, obviously my wife, my mother. I think for me, these are the, figures in my life who have been like Kayadu. And that's why I write about them. So, yeah.
Okay, sir. Moving on to the next question. In the Narsimha trilogy, people who escaped are referred as cowards. Contrary to this, Narsimha himself escaped from the wars, but the reason was exhaustion. How do you justify it?
I don't justify it. I feel I'm being questioned mercilessly. That is why Narsimha left, because you were asking these questions. See, the thing is, he didn't leave out of exhaustion. He left because he was tired of seeing the carnage, the bloodshed around him. He didn't want to propagate violence. My books in itself is very political by nature. When I say political, I mean to say because they hold themes like anti-war. So I'm a pacifist by nature. I'm not a big on wars, big on battles. So the entire Narasimha trilogy is an anti-war. It's a pacifist take on the entire story. I want people to learn from that. So the reason why Narasimha left everything and kind of absconded and went up to the hills and everything, because he was tired of seeing the bloodshed, the corpses, the blood, the carnage again and again everywhere, that he was like, probably this is it, this is me, I'm done for it, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Love to hear your thoughtful ideas. Sir, I'm curious to know that what inspires you about Lord Vishnu, that you researched and explored the Narasimha avatar of him.
I feel Narsingh avatar is the fiercest avatar of Lord Vishnu. Why I love Lord Vishnu is obviously because he's someone who's the preserver, the protector. And someone, there's a thing where whenever there's righteousness and unrighteousness that's booming in the world, he shall appear once again. And with Vishnu, every time he comes from a different avatar, Narsingh avatar captured my imagination because there was a sense of, I would say, him going so angry with his avatar that Lord Shiva had to come down and calm him, in Sharaba avatar. So that's what really interested me, because Vishnu ji, when you think of, he's a very calm, you see him just, lying down and everything. He's a very calm persona. Here, all of a sudden, there's a huge difference in his characteristic when it comes to, with Narasimha avatar, because someone who's very angry, who was born out of anger. Obviously, while there was a time when he got so angry that he had to be, the earth started shaking and people started to get scared. And no one would ever think that, one can be scared of Vishnu ji. So that's where I feel that that's one of the reasons why I wrote on Narasimha avatar, and that's why I feel that it's he's one of the most interesting avatars of Lord Vishnu.
Thank you, sir. Lord Vishnu has always been gracious.
Sir, my next question is, Safina was also known to be the daughter of the devil, but Sinbad found her pure and innocent. But do you think it is this falling in love with the devil's daughter that added a certain charm to their romance? We have a parallel in Bollywood where heroine's father was an evil personified. Example, Bazigar, Khiladiyon ke Khiladi, Hum Hai Rahi Pyar Ke, Ishq Bagi, and the superhit blockbuster comedy Welcome. Do you think the devil's daughters are always innocent? Or it is a broader stereotype in Indian cinema which you two couldn't even escape?
I don't know if that's a question or an insult. and you forgot one movie, Dilwale Dulhania Le Jayenge. Yeah. Yeah, it covers everything. Yeah. I feel. See, I'm a big Bollywood, fan. I love Bollywood. I've grown up watching movies. I'm a huge cinephile myself, and I personally feel that somewhere or the other you get inspired from it. So yes, Sinbad is a Dilwale Dulhania Le Jayenge. In short.
Thank you, sir, for your answer.
But great assessment. I don't know who. Have you written these questions?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great, wonderful, great assessment, by the way. Round
Sir,
of applause.
our whole team has written.
Our whole team, by the way. I'm sure he has as well. He's waiting. He's waiting. Yeah, great.
Sir, I would like to thank our teachers. Mainly, they have helped us write these questions.
Definitely, great, wonderful. Round of applause. Great.
Sir, for the last question, are there any new books as a forward-thinking author? Are there any new books as a forward-thinking author? What experimental themes or genre can your readers anticipate in your forthcoming projects, and how do these projects fit into the larger tapestry of your literary ambitions?
I am coming with a book which is on Lord Krishna. It's releasing on November 7th. It's on basically the last chapter of Mahabharata, based on the Missal Parva, which is what happened after Mahabharata. So, what happened to Krishna? What happened to Arjun? What happened to Dwarka? We know the basics. The upari upri se hame pata hai. But what really happened? So, Missal Parva is also called the Book of Clubs, because that was the book where it was full of जो भी महाभारता में हुआ था, उसके बाद जितना भी bloodshed हुआ था, बहुत ही मतलब it was a very dark take on the entire Mahabharata, which I wanted to explore, and definitely that's what I wrote also on. So that's releasing on November 7th. While recently my audiobook has released on Vikram Vetal, which is again, I think a lot of people know, but it's a very different take on it, very historical take on it, and Varanasi does feature on it. The entire setting is in Varanasi, so definitely you guys should definitely check it out. It's an audiobook original, and I have more books coming out, but nothing to tell right now, because they're still like percolating in my mind. And I probably might also be taking a break from writing, because I've written a lot in a small span of time. So now I want a little break for myself as well, and probably come back stronger while you guys read the rest of the books, because it'll take some time for you to also finish all the books that I've written.
Thank you, sir. That sounds incredibly inspiring. I'm sure your readers are eagerly anticipating your next masterpiece. Thank you, sir, for sharing your thoughts and giving us a glimpse into your creative world. We look forward to your future works with a great anticipation.
जब बोलना स्टार्ट किया तब माइक बंद हो गया.
Hello, check. So now let's check out some trivia. Are you ready for it?
I am never ready for anything, but
you have to.
Oh my
My
God.
first question is. So my first question.
Is it a trivia or is it a rapid fire round?
It's a rapid fire round.
It's a rapid fire round.
With trivia's in it.
So since we are talking about Bollywood, so are you Karan Johar? Where's my hamper? Where's my hamper? I want my coffee hamper.
So the first question is tea or coffee?
देखो मम्मी की चाय.
Favorite mythological character?
Karn.
E-book or physical?
Physical, of course.
One word to describe your writing style. You have to be fast.
Mad. अच्छा sorry यार. Mad.
Pen and paper or computer to write the poem?
Computer.
Marvel or DC, and if not Marvel DC, then what?
यार ये तो slow कर दिया मेरे को. I'm a huge DC fan because I love Batman. कर लो clap कर लो, Batman अगर पसंद है तो. But I'm getting into anime, so. Let's see.
What first, Hindustani or Mumbaikar?
क्या?
Hindustani first or Mumbaikar?
मुंबईकर क्यों बनूंगा मैं? हिंदुस्तानी मुंबई
So
तो है.
because you live in Mumbai.
I don't live in Bombay. I live in Delhi. I live in Gurgaon.
Sorry for the inconvenience. Question. A book that made you cry.
Book made me cry. Definitely the book that I'm writing with you now.
So a book you wish you had written. You would have written it.
The one which I'm reading right now, The Gentleman in Moscow. Lovely book. Very lovely.
Favorite quote that inspires your writing.
there's a difference between a successful and an unsuccessful writer. The unsuccessful writer gives up. But it was said by Anthony Horowitz, and I firmly believe in that. Anyone can be a writer, and the only difference between someone not being a writer is someone who has given up on writing.
So when do you get the best time for writing? When do you get the best ideas for the writing?
तुम्हें बड़ा जानना है कब मैं करता हूँ? Best time to write. I used to be a night owl. I used to write at night. But now, the moment I get free from my office, that's my favorite time to write.
Sir, if you would have not been an author, then what would you have done?
I would probably be unemployed.
So then how would you survive?
तुम्हें बड़ा I'll probably be a filmmaker. I think I love films and I love to watch films, and I think probably, but I started my entrepreneurial life, so I'm now a founder of a company. So I love managing that, and I love taking risk in that, and I love being a publisher because I've started my publishing life. So I've started being a publisher as well. So I love publishing books as well because you enjoy that process, and publishing new voices. My publisher's name is also called New Voice Press. So yeah.
So have you ever been to Chai Sutta Bar?
Have you been to Chai Sutta Bar? I have. Is it there in Varanasi?
Of
It's
course
very popular.
Yes, sir.
हाँ? तुम बड़ा जा रहे हो आजकल? हाँ? ये गलत जगह. No, but I would love to. I would love to go tomorrow if I have to get time. Why not?
So favorite writing snack?
Favorite writing snack? Lay's, blue one. Yeah, fan favorite. Huh? Man of culture, true.
So gamer for fun or gambling?
See, I'll tell you that. You didn't see his eyes. You didn't see. I saw. You're like gambling. No, I don't gamble. I only gamble in love, and I won. So. So I would say no, I play for fun. And recent Spider-Man game is coming, and Assassin's Creed Mirage is coming. I'm very excited for both of them. And one thing also, games have been a huge part of my writing career as well. They've inspired me to visually think and write books. So I personally feel that if someone is writing books, you just don't need to read books. Can also be every kind of content around you that you can consume and kind of redirect it towards writing. So that's what I did.
So can you describe her box in 3 words?
Totally.
Fast. Rapid fire round.
Her box in 3 words. I can't. It's a. Yeah, tell me. Total ultra chaos, true.
Thank you, ma'am, for answering the question, which sir could not.
I love it. What's your name?
Vinayak.
Vinayak. Love it. You have a character being written in the book now.
So boiled egg or omelette, and if not both of them, then what?
I am more of a scrambled egg person. Okay then.
Thank you, sir, for answering the questions. I was really impressed listening to you and to your answers as well.
Acha.
So your Sinbad trilogy is out. and we can't miss the chance of explaining the book through your lens. So can you please do that?
Cinema Trilogy is a story about a young sailor and a monster hunter who has to figure out a way to save the world in 7 days by killing the only person he loves. And it's a story filled with Greek gods, filled with monsters, filled with end of the world, doomsday activities going on, as well as it does talk about a lot about how to be a good person, how to be courageous in the worst case scenarios, and how to find solutions, how to be solution oriented as a person rather than being a problem centric person. So in short, that's what Sinbad is all about.
Thank you, sir. This was all from our side. Now over to the anchors.
Thank you, sir.
If someone wants to ask a question, can we open the floor if they want to? Yeah. Okay, so we have few questions. We're waiting for it. How much time do we have? How much time do we have? Oh, I'm fine with it.
Okay.
So I request the audience to raise your hands, and we have the volunteers who will come to you, and you may shoot your questions to the audience. Thank you.
Okay. Can you share a favorite line of dialogue spoken by one of your characters? What makes it memorable to you? Additionally, how do you hope your readers will perceive and remember your characters after finishing the book?
Favorite quote to मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा, because I think it's very tough to remember so much I've written. I wrote this line. It was so this was in my recent book called Krishna, which I said, in which Balram, Krishna's brother, is asked, he's very frustrated with how things are going in Dwarka, because there's a lot of fight going on within amongst the people only. And he's asked by one of his lieutenants that, whatever happened to Dharma. So Balram asks his lieutenant that whatever happened to Dharma. And the lieutenant answers, sir, it died on Kurukshetra. So that is very interesting, I remember. And how do we perceive? I think, I don't know, I leave it up to the readers, to be honest. If there's a reader out there, definitely they can give an insight about how they perceive it. But yeah, I don't have a particular notion towards it. Also, whoever is asking a question can definitely say their name and their class so that I can remember you guys and probably write you in my next book.
Okay, my name is Aham Ahmed Khan from DPS Gaya.
Oh, wonderful.
Thank you.
Sir, I would like to ask that, as you mentioned about your passion for filmmaking, do you plan to direct and produce one of your books?
I will not personally, because I'm too immature, I guess, to deal with it. But my film rights are open for discussion. So if anyone wants to take it, why not?
Thank you, sir. I am Vedant from Birla Vidya Mandir, grade 12th.
Oh, wonderful. And where is this? Where is this? Birla?
It's in Nainital.
Oh, Nainital. Wonderful.
Thank you, sir.
Wonderful. So we have from everywhere, right? Wonderful.
I'm Aryan, and sir, you mentioned in one of your podcasts that the grade 10 and grade 12 examinations should be abolished because they convert a reader to a non-reader, right? Please shed some more light on this.
I have to be more careful with what I say in podcast.
People can stalk you a lot.
True. And very, very wrong place to say at a CBSE school. That's great. I, as a young writer, when I was growing up, and also as an author who goes to several schools, I've been to more than 100 plus schools now, and I've been to classes where it's from 6th to 8th or 6th to 9th, and then I've been to classes where from 10th to 12th for talks, and I've seen a huge disparity of reading from the same people, because from the same schools as well. 6th to 8th or 6th to 9th students are voracious readers, but from 10th to 12th, the readership just goes down tremendously. And then the entire industry, the publishing industry, then questions, why is there no one reading? You know, why we are just growing 8% every year when manga reading is growing 22% every year. You know, so what I personally feel is that there are that at the वो जो exam का डर होता है ना, what I meant when I was saying in my podcast was वो exam का जो डर है ना वो हटाना चाहिए. That डर has to be removed because what happens is that we get so much into stress of studying, and to be honest, I don't remember my 12th board exams. I grew up, I'm not against competitive exams. I'm not even against board exams. What I mean to say is that I'm against that fear. And if that fear is removed, you are able to then culturally motivate the students of next generation to be better readers, better thinkers. Because poetry is literature. These are the reasons why we live. Definitely job opportunities are less here, but creatively now job opportunities are even increasing. As a writer, you can earn really well as well in today's scenario as well. So I think personally that fear has to be removed, and that's what I meant. And I think I don't know if a lot of people, that's a very controversial opinion, but I firmly believe in it and I stand to it. So yeah.
Good evening, sir. My name is Manan Kakkar, and I'm from the Indian School, New Delhi. Sir, a lot of authors, additionally, like Rick Riordan, have brought mythology to the contemporary world and tried to intermix it with the contemporary standards and traditions that we experience in our day-to-day lives. And obviously, mythology is a very sensitive topic to a lot of people. So I wanted to ask, how do you walk that thin line between making mythology more enjoyable and relatable to the younger audience, as well as trying to stay true to the original roots of the mythology and not be offensive or hurt anybody's sentiments?
I don't walk, I just trip. Because it's a very thin line. It's like moving like कि बस गिर ना जाऊं. See, the thing is, whatever you're writing, you have to be respectful towards it. If you're not respectful towards it, for whatever you're writing, it doesn't have to just be with Hindu myths. It could be about Islam, it could be about Buddhism as well. It could be Christianity as well. I feel if you're coming out from respect, the reason I've been writing mythical tales for the last 6 years, and I have not gotten that opposition primarily because whatever I've written has come from purest of my emotions and something which has come out of love rather than hate. So if there's love towards what you're writing, then that line becomes quite broader than you think.
All right. So would it be all right if I just add one extra layer to this question?
What?
Sorry. Yes. Sir, I just wanted to ask how you navigate the concept of villains or anti-heroes, because of course every legendary story has one. And in similar to the previous question, you have to go into the depth of the character of the anti-hero, whether it's the embodiment of pure evil or has some qualities and has a backstory that the reader can perhaps relate himself to. So I feel that also contradicts that point about keeping the sentiments of the reader, because if you only portray the bad guys in the mythology as the bad guys in your books, then I feel it's not very original. And if you try to put a different twist on it, it can go wrong. So how do you navigate
I make
that?
it human. I don't try to give a bad or a good. So if you read, for instance, my Narasimha trilogy, you read the story of Hiranyakashyap. Hiranyakashyap, when you read in from the myths, he's a very power-hungry Azur lord who wants to destroy everything in the process of gaining everything and all the power in the world. I personally feel that when you read my books, definitely there's a huge difference in it, because you kind of see that there's a human side to it. There's a father in him, there's a mentor in him, there's a warrior in him, there's a hero in him as well. While at the same time, there's the negative side also. So I feel that, and my heroes as well have that positive and the negative side. For instance, I wrote on Karn. Karn is considered, as you said, the greatest anti-hero out there. We don't know whether he's a good or a bad. You know, when you read the original text, you'll realize that he was not really a good hero. But when you see these nowadays, the shows Surya Putra Kanna and all these shows that come out, you see that, oh, you know what, he was a good guy. the thing what ends up happening is you just have, as a writer, you need to take out what is out there, the best source possible, and then what will convey my themes in front of the world. And that's what I did. And I make sure that I write them as humans, not as villains or heroes.
Thank you so much, sir.
Hello, sir. Good evening. Firstly,
कहाँ से बोल रहे हैं?
here, sir.
अच्छा, hi. Okay.
Good evening. I really like your books and your dedication to literature and your interest in Indian mythology specifically definitely inspires me. My question is, even though your major work has surrounded Indian mythology, you have explored other genres like crime and horror in the past. Are there any new genres you wish to explore in the future?
I would love to explore science fiction, and I would love to explore non-fiction. I would love to write. I would love to write about startups. I would love to write about the struggles of publishing in the non-fiction space. I would love to write a historical fiction as well. As a writer, I would love to do a lot of stuff. But you know how Salman Khan is branded as a hero. Well, I think Shah Rukh Khan is branded as a romantic hero, which surprisingly now he is now an action hero now. I think as writers also we get branded. So if you look at every writer out there, they are branded in some way or the other. Every commercial writer, I mean to say. So I'm branded as a mythical writer, which can be sometimes bothersome, definitely, because you want to explore more genres. But definitely it has its fun as well, because when I see you guys, you know, reading about it and everything and learning from it, you know, it kind of makes my day.
All right, sir. I look forward to reading new books from you.
Thank you.
My name is Ashan and I'm from Singapore International School.
Oh, Singapore International School.
Yes, Mumbai.
Bye.
Good evening, sir.
कहाँ पर है? अच्छा.
My name is Vaibhavi and I am from Sarla Bella Public School, Ranchi, Jharkhand. And my question is, if you had to choose one of your character as your co-author, who would it be and how would it enhance the perspective of the story through their point of view?
Shakuni.
Oh. Thank you, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Where I can't. This side. Oh, hi.
Good evening, sir. My name is Trishika Jain and I am from the Emerald Heights International School in Indore and I am currently studying in grade 10th. My question is, are there any specific writers or authors that inspired your style in your genre of writing?
Rick Riordan. As I'm a big fan of Percy Jackson series. When I was growing up, that was one of them. So definitely Rick Riordan is one of them. And I'm a huge fan of Brandon Sanderson. I don't know, a lot of people don't know him here, but he's a great writer. He's one of my virtual tutors, I would say, because I used to, listen to his classes on YouTube, and I learned a lot from him. So definitely, anyone who wants to be a writer, there are great lessons from him on his YouTube channel. You should definitely check it out. They're 2 hours long, but so much fun that you will just fall in love with writing.
Thank you so much, sir.
Good evening, sir. Yeah.
Oh, hi.
So I was fascinated by your book, Yama.
Yeah.
And I wanted to question which major philosophical ideologies you have tried to depict it or explore in the book, and how does it affect the narrative of the plot?
I wanted to explore about how we as people have become very, very, judge and jury when it comes to crimes. We have become these social media activists. On Twitter, we see everyone fighting each other. On Facebook, we are seeing fighting each other. We are blaming each other. We are victimizing other people. So Yama was all about that what if all the hatred that we show and we think it's harmless because we just posting about it, what if this harmless hatred actually turns harmful when an AI kind of thinks that this hatred is actually real hatred, genuine hatred, and he starts executing that hatred by killing people. So that was one of the the themes I wanted to focus on, that careful what you write. on social media.
Thank you, sir. I'm Pranav Naya from BK Birla Public School, Kalyan.
Jai Hind, sir. I am Prachi here. I'm Prachi from Commerce stream. Actually, sir, I got this opportunity to talk to Tripti Di, and she told me that you are a great boss. I think that's the thing which I understood. Like, for me, if you are in the corporate sector, the main thing of the corporate sector is the great leader. So you have this skill. How you carry this skill and how you develop this skill in yourself?
I think one has to be very empathetic by nature. I think if you genuinely care for the people you are working with, I think it shows. And I think putting your own putting others feelings over yours, I think matters a lot, because you are working for them, they are not working for you. So as a leader, one has to realize that you are actually working for the employees rather than employees working for you. So the moment you have that kind of an energy with your team, I think it entirely changes the dynamics.
Thank you so much, sir.
Good evening, sir. For the audience, I would like to share one more thing, that Tripti ma'am is an ex-Sunbeamian. So my question to you is that in this era where the people are suffering with poverty, climate crisis and so many other issues, why should someone read mythology? Like, what is the relevance and importance of it?
I think one should read mythology because they live in India. And I think if they live in India, they should know their history. And I think they should know their culture. And I think they should know their traditions. So if they want to know about these things, I think one should definitely read mythology.
Thank you, sir. This is Kakushthya from Sunbeam Suncity.
Good evening, sir. I'm Yojit from Singapore International School, Mumbai. And as someone who was intrigued by your talk today, what would be one book you would recommend for someone trying to get into your work?
Is one, and Karna is also a really good book. I think one should definitely read Karna. My favorite one is Yet to Come, which is on Krishna. So yeah.
Looking forward to the Krishna one. Thank you.
Good evening to you, sir. I'm Navjot Kaur from the Indian Academy, Paliyakalan. So my question to you is that, had there been a moment in your life when you felt like I should give up on writing, and how did you overcome that moment?
Many times.
So how did you overcome that?
I overcame by realizing that I am not really good at anything else but writing. So when you're not good at anything else but writing, I think you should do what you're good at. So
okay,
yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, sir. Excuse me. Good evening.
Hi.
Sir, I have a question for you. Actually, two questions.
एक पूछेगा तू.
Sir, first question being, there are so many mythologies to delve in, like Norse, Greek, Egyptian, and many people have delved in these mythologies. There are many sourceful things that you can write on, such as the legend of Pandora, the wrath of Zeus, Hercules, Hermes, Helios, and there are so many gods, Odin and Heimdall, Freyr, Fenrir, and there are so many. So I just want to ask, when are you gonna go towards these mythologies as well?
When I'll be born as a Greek. I'm happy writing into myths right now.
May I ask another question?
Yeah, sure.
Sir, if you are given a chance to make a game on your books, such as there is God of War for PS4 and PS5, so would you agree to the given idea that you would create a game on it?
Yeah, I would love to get a game on it. I mean, as I said, I'm a big gamer, and I love God of War series.
Yeah.
So love it to the core. Yeah, why not? Definitely. As long as it honors the story, yeah, why not?
Thank you, sir. This is Pratyush Sharma from Birla Vidya Mandir, Nainital, 12th class.
Good evening, sir. Here. Good evening, ma'am. This is Jyotsna from Delhi Public School.
That's my mother's name, by the way.
I'm obliged to hear that, by the way. So my question is, what's the thought process behind your selection of characters for the book?
My thought process was I usually choose a theme, and if it connects with my theme, and if I love it, and then I kind of find the figures, the mythical tales, and everything from where I can, what's the best that represents those themes, and then I write about it.
Thank you so much, sir. So, ma'am, I have one question for you, please. So, I want to know that is sir the same person as in general, or is he different as an author or in general?
By the way, thank you so much for the question. It's pretty awkward person on the mic, but then again, to your question, he's exactly like this. Exactly. He's just a little different while he's in office, especially when he's just working around. But apart from this, he's copy paste same. He's ऐसे ही यहाँ पर, ऐसे ही मेरे साथ, ऐसे ही सबके साथ. He's just this. He's pure as a glass.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, sir.
So we'll be taking the last
Yeah.
2 questions here. And we will respect time for the convenience of everybody.
Good evening and Jai, sir. Sir, I'm here. I'm Soumya from Sunbeam Suncity, and my question to you is that what aspects of Narsimha's story do you find most fascinating?
That he became so angry that Lord Shiva had to come down to calm him. And Lord Shiva is the angry one. So that's the interesting part for me.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Last question. You have to make sure it's a very good question. Now she's worried. She's like, it's so much pressure.
Okay, we'll release her from pressure. We will take the last 2 questions. We'll allow both of them with your consent, sir.
Of course.
So, good evening, sir. This is Sarvagya Sharma from Emily Heights. My question is, like, all of us are students here. So, what was your first step to becoming an author? Like, in what age, a notebook, a diary, a competition or something like that, which made you enter into writing or something?
Unfortunately, I was not in such a good school like you are. So I didn't have any writing competitions, anything. And if I had a writing competition, I would probably fail in that, because I used to really be a bad writer when I started. So I remember I wrote a paragraph, and I thought that was the book, because I thought that itna hi likh paunga main. So, and then next day I wrote 2 paragraphs, then 3. And as a writer, what happens is that the more you write, the better you get at it. So I kept writing to a point where I remember I even wrote a fan fiction. So I was a huge fan of Wizards of Waverly Place. I don't know if you know that show. So I wrote a fanfic with me and Selena Gomez. So a lot of people don't know this fun fact, by the way. And so I wrote the fanfic. I didn't have Wattpad at that time, so never published it also. So but yeah, I still try to find that. कि कहाँ है वो book जो 14 साल में लिखी थी मैंने. Yeah.
That's so inspiring, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Good evening, sir. I'm Alankita Tiwari from HD Memorial Playway School, Ayodhya. So my question for you is, sir, what is expectation from your first book, Kalki? If you are not an author, you are just a book reader.
As a book reader, my expectations, you're asking as a book reader, what would be my expectation?
Yes, sir.
Out of Kalki?
Yes, sir.
That, wow, what a lovely book cover. Wow, what a lovely writer. Oh my God. ये तो कहानी मुझे पढ़नी पड़ेगी. Right, so that make sure that's the expectation you have.
Oh.
Right?
Thank you, sir.
Very good.
Thank you, sir, for the exhaustive sharing. After that grind, I'm sure the probing and picking, the learning is firmly set. Now I request you to please pen down your message for the students.
Just to say thanks. I mean, do you want? Oh, I see. What is this? Oh, I have to write. Okay. Oh, I have to write. Okay.
So this is your message for the students in the ideation conclave, the students of Sunbeams, and everyone here.
थोड़ा सा वो गलत था ये वो क्या तो पढ़ने वाले हो? It's not visible. So
Let me share with one and all here that we have a tradition of getting these message cards mounted on the wall in the corridors for all the students to read.
Oh, wonderful. I think the sketch pen का थोड़ा issue था, but I just wanted to say that one of the best sessions I've had. I love the grilling.
Thank you, sir, for such wonderful message. He said that this is the one of the best sessions that he had.
Okay. Now I request Honorary Director Sunbeam Group to address the gathered assemblage.
Okay, so thank you, Vinayak. Huh? Okay, great. So thank you, Kevin. Wonderful. It was almost like a podcast. You know, it was like a good podcast, and all the engagement from the students, from all the various round square schools, and obviously the Sun City, Sunbeam students as well. And many of the students have gone through your books and seen you on the podcast, and I think they have. Some of them have even stalked you because they've really gotten into your opinions about most of the things. But it's so nice to have you interact with our students. You only being 26, that's what Ashi said, told me. You only being 26, it just goes to show that you can achieve anything. And if you put your mind and heart and soul to it, if you just have to have good focus. That's the message which I took away from today's event, that you have to have extremely good focus, and you can make a big impact if you wish to on this world. So thank you so much for being with us, and thank you for enlightening all our students, Kevin. It was honored to have you, and it was great to have all our students listen to you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I request all the student representatives with the teachers in charges to please ascend the stage for a group photography.
May I request, sir, to please ascend the stage for the book signing, the selfie point there. And I request the student representatives for the event along with the teacher in charges to join sir for a picture. Go.
There's a hero if you look inside your heart. You don't have to be afraid of what you are. There's an answer if you reach into your soul, and the sorrow that you know will melt away. And then a hero comes along with the strength to carry on, and you cast your fears aside, and you know you can. and you'll finally see the truth that a hero lies in you.
So dear all our students, line up for the signing autographs. I request, this is just one information that I wanted to share with the outstation teams, that we have a small get-together in the school atrium. We have a small get-together. This is for all the outstation teams. We have a small get-together in the school atrium. The school atrium is the venue where you had your Imaginarium, that is the art installations. Thank you. Excuse me, this is the hostel atrium. I'm sorry, this is the hostel atrium where you have a small get-together. The hostel atrium, not the school atrium. Thank you.
May I request the boarders in the pavilion to disperse the guest participants. You are also requested to proceed to the hostel atrium, and as promised, your musical night, your DJ is waiting. Thank you all of you for joining us. Can we give a big round of applause to Kevin sir for giving us the most wonderful time this evening. It was interesting, intriguing, and very experiential. No. This is to inform one and all, the dinner has been moved to the hostel atrium owing to the bad weather conditions. I request the guest participants along with the boarders of Sun City to move to the hostel. I request the school-wise escorts from Sun City to please help your member teams to reach the venue. Thank you one and all for joining us this evening.
I never knew.